Yo, people, what's good? I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Today, I want to talk about values and how important values are to your development. Now, of course, we're living in a world where we talk about values quite a bit. We talk about them in terms of how we're passionate about aligning to things that make sense to us. Today, I'm going to talk about how you can actually understand or know what your values are. Now, what are values? Values are the things that you deem as important and they help you make decisions. That's what values are. And those decisions will determine your destination and therefore your destiny. I know it's so cheesy, but I just want to say the whole DDD thing. So, but anyway, coming to the main point of this video. How do you get to your values? Now, there are three different types of values that you can have. You can have core values. Now, these things are things that are not compromisable. These are things that, let's say, for example, if you were to make, I don't know, £5 billion or dollars in exchange for one of your values, you would say no, because you believe that if you don't live by this code, if you don't live by this way of doing things, which exudes certain behaviors, you just won't feel yourself. So values allow you to feel yourself, especially when making decisions. Okay, so you also have ends values. Okay, so ends values are things that basically you're aiming towards. Okay, so maybe it's wealth, maybe it's reputation or a sense of respect or whatever it may be. It is an aim. Means values are the things that you utilize in order to get to that end. So maybe the means value you need to have is integrity or perseverance or whatever it may be. So there are things that help you on your road. But we're talking about core values here. Now, how do you get to this point? Now, of course, for those of you who know, I've written 4 books. 3 of them are within a series called Understand, Reach, Expand. And the first one's actually called Understand, Reach, Expand, 15 super effective ways to manage your mind. If you're interested, you can check out Amazon, type in Michael Tabrani, you can see those books. But in the first book, I talk about this model where it really sorts of like, I'm trying to get it up on my page right now. I talk about this model that I made up called EPM. Okay, so it's the experience perception magnifier. Sounds really fancy, but it's just another way of saying, how do you magnify certain hallmark experiences to understand and unearth your values? So essentially it goes like this. So first off, you have to think about, okay, in the last 5 or 10 years, what are the hallmark experiences that you've had in your life? You want to pinpoint these different things, okay? So maybe it was university, maybe it was a breakup with a girl or a guy, maybe it was a first job that you got, maybe it was a business that you started, maybe it was a relationship that broke down, maybe it was something that you achieved at work, maybe it was a qualification that you got. Think about those different hallmark experiences and think about the feelings that were conjured when you had those different experiences. Did you feel frustrated? Did you feel angry? Did you feel happy? Really try to label it, okay? Because once you try to label and try to understand what you felt during that time, because it's easier to understand or at least recall what you felt as opposed to actually what happened, then you can start accurately trying to label precisely what that feeling was. So let's say, for example, one point you felt angry that your girlfriend broke up with you. Maybe it wasn't anger. Maybe the true feeling was disappointment. And then from that, you want to now think about how you feel about the situation now, how you've moved on from that. And that gap will enable you to understand how you acted. And it gives you an idea of what sort of advice you would give to yourself if you were in that situation again. Okay, so let's say, for example, you did go for a breakup. Maybe the advice you'd give to yourself is, maybe it's best that you manage your emotions better, especially in these situations, because it isn't the end of the world, but understandably, you feel hurt. Maybe it's something you did really well. Maybe you, I don't know, won a trophy or won a competition. Maybe the advice is learn from the lessons that enabled you to get to where you got to and stick with that energy. Lean into that energy, okay? And so you're going to get all these different paragraphs of advices that you give to yourself. So you're looking back and you're thinking to yourself, how would I improve this situation? Or how would I continue with this situation? Or how would I grow with this situation? Once you've got all of this information, you then want to look at these different paragraphs, these different points of advice for each of these hallmark experiences, and then say to yourself, what is the one word that encapsulates this advice? So maybe for the breakup, it is resilience. Maybe for the trophy situation, it's confidence. You know, so you start to put together, you start to string together different words. And of course, as you align the hallmark experiences with the feelings you had at the time, with the feelings you have about it now, and the advice you'd give to yourself, positive or negative based on the situation, you can get those key core words which equate to values in many different ways, shapes and forms. So that's one way of doing it, okay? Of course, another way of doing it is looking at different questions or asking yourself different questions or getting a coach or a friend or a mentor to ask you different questions centered around what you truly like, what you don't like, okay? Because if I said to you, okay, Where do you find your source of fun? Or what things do you despise? Or what qualities do you look for in a friendship? You're going to say certain things that prop up certain key words that say something about you and the way you're designed and the way you think and everything else. So, why are these values important? Because if you understand your values, you can start to think more strategically about how you design your life. Okay, you want to get to a point where you design your life. Psychologists state and say that we live in a self-deterministic universal world, should we say. In other words, what that means is mosaically there is a likely probability of things that are definitely going to happen, but in the same instance there is an element of free will that we have, and we want to be able to exercise the both. Maybe 50% of that is genetics and the other 50% is free will. The 50% we can't control we have to accept, but the 50% we can control we want to start controlling. And I got this sort of like idea from watching the Tom Bilyeu and Ty Lopez interview on impact theory, for those of you who watched it as well. It's a great interview. It's very long but check it out for yourself. But anyway, that's what I want to say in terms of values and everything else. Of course, this is a different sort of process if you're within an organization, a leader within an organization trying to establish your values. It's essentially the same thing, but from an organizational standpoint. And you want to get to a point where, as stakeholders, you're thinking about what you think your purpose is. What are some of the things that you are experiencing as a group in terms of challenges and successes? What are the different commissions and policies that different people are saying you have to do as an organization? And what does that mean boiled down into values? It's funneling everything down, and it's having loads of different workshops and talks and everything else to really understand what that comes into play for you as an organization. And of course, your values link with your vision. Okay, what you see for yourself moving forward, in addition to your velocity, how quickly you want to move. Anywho, hopefully this has helped you. Again, if you're somebody who would like one-to-one coaching with me over a 12-week series at least, and you're looking to, achieve something big within your business or your organizational development or your leadership potential, then hit me up. You can book a session, we can have a conversation, and we can make it happen. Anyway, if you want to see more videos centered around life management and portfolio careers, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.